So let's look at all these jobs. Basically, we're looking at, the templates that give you more of a scenario of references at the time. It gives you a scenario of references of what you do and why you do it, and how long do you do it. So it's pretty much where you're looking at, a capability of endurance, which is called work. So it's pretty much where you're using capability of endurance to promote these types of details. So it's pretty much as you're using more from all centuries, and making more of $98,000 of profits coming down. So that's just one big dime of interest coming out of 9,800 dimes. So it's pretty much as you learn more about having 941 9,800 dimes. You're worrying about the 98,000, take away 980, which is about 3 months of meals being prepared at the time. So it's pretty much looking at ravens or rams or lions. We're looking at the state deposit of this stuff. So it's just pretty much looking at more of 2027 to 2080, and looking at more of the 9800 factor being bonused out, and being able to calculate different profits at the time. So it's pretty much going where you're going back and forth. You're either working with subtraction or you're working with process of elimination, where you got 624 and you want to eliminate three. You want to eliminate three different hundreds. So that's pretty much where you're using more towards having 3 on 1, where you're having 3 on 1. And that one getting interrupted just because 3 is more proportionate than 1. So that's just pretty much working with the polynomials of 10th and sophomore year in college. So it's pretty much as we learn more about that decade of consolving, more towards tax services, and more towards world history and environments at the time. So it's pretty much where you're working on eco-herb, more majority of the time, 624 times out of 688 different times. So it's pretty much where you're using your purple, orange, and green populations at. So that's pretty much where you're using, either one of these two to promote more for either you spending the money or you making the money. So it's pretty much as you becoming more of a tax collector of your own source. You being more of a tax collector, and being able to be more evaluated with the evaluation of the detail that gets prescribed to you. So that's just being able to just show more of a general manager becoming a tax collector at the time. So it's pretty much as you starting to believe more towards your specified individual, towards having more towards having propelled benefits for you. So it's pretty much as you're dependent on T-Mobile a little bit more, out of the norm of 980%. So you basically depend on T-Mobile to have all that interest, invested for you as they get their propelled benefit subscriptions made for you under their purple, green, and orange unit. So it's pretty much as you got more information, built out for you for that century of time starting 2008 of 2032. So it's pretty much as you start a new time, and being able to decrease time whenever you need it. And it's pretty much where you're working with. with 334 times after you calculate, the 600 3 times. So it becomes 324. That's pretty much where you're using 324 recommendations and you cancel out a $20 bill. So it's pretty much working on another application rather than it being a W-4. It's more like the Declaration of Independence. So you're working with the W-4 and the Declaration of Independence in this primary portion of propositions. So this is the W-4. This is the Declaration of Independence, and this is the Articles of Confederation right here. So as long as you're working by that rule, you'll have that essential built out for you right there. So it's pretty much working with $324 versus $20. And you can see here that 20 loses the majority of the time, in 961 different subscriptions, it loses just because, it has less of advantage of having more of what you want. With the 324, you got tens in there, you got 20s, you got 50s, you got tens, you got 50s, and you got hundreds. 10s, 50s, and hundreds, and it's pretty much using that 324 to promote more for a higher rate, so that that 98,000 gets recovered by the time you get to 924 and 9800s. So if that makes sense, that's pretty much where you're working with Suddenlink companies. You're working with Suddenlink companies, and that's pretty much where you're earning more of $9,800 in individual intuitive rates. So with that being said, that 9,800 is worth 924 980s right there. So it's pretty much where you're getting that 980 trans tax coming from as you get more towards paying for what you need. So with that being said, it's always a trick between you paying for what you need and you needing to pay for what you need. So that's basically saying that the check is 98,000, you pay 9,800 up front or in the first 3 months. You have something, and it's pretty much where you're working on that $9,800 check from Suddenlink. That $9,800 check from Suddenlink, depending on popcorn Carabanas, you see different ratings on that, and being able to know more about $9,800 in tens and 50s and hundreds, is all that 9,800 is all that 980 perception going on right there. So it's pretty much where you're working on a greater invention for itself. So it's pretty much how you're using greater detail of 924% of 180%. So that's pretty much as you're using more for a whole circumference versus it being more for a inline skate or something like that. So it's pretty much where you want to be able to use more for your recreational side of what you really want to do in the meantime. Do you want to eat? Do you want to play? Do you want to learn? That's pretty much what you want to learn in your modern day of college and sophomore year. So that's pretty much you're using 1894 of 2018, and being able to use more into the 2018 Silverado Chevy, or the Tahoe, or even the 3500 2018 Dually. So that's pretty much as you use it more for the service technician, or the service engineer, or the co-manager, or the general manager, or the district manager. You being able to tell what the difference is between the templates that we have here. And it's pretty much using, all these templates use the same connotation. So it's pretty much as we're using more more common attributes to promote more for what we like, purple, white, and orange, to get more fulfilled off the common attributes that gets made daily off of trans tax and reference tax that get made $256 every 656 hours. So it's pretty much as you earning more towards sales and balance, and knowing more about the outside of knowing outside of the Outlook subscriptions, whether it's Outlook or Allpoint. You're looking at the difference of being in college and being at the restaurant at the same time. So it's pretty much where Catfish Industries and Sam Houston State University come in at. And it all has its aviation services with it. So it's pretty much as you using a local state instead of a local county or a local country to promote more for that detail. So it's pretty much as using the car factor for microeconomics. So that's just 6:24 p.m. when it started its schedule towards making more towards its primary classification statistics and points of interest, as pretty much as it starts its journey. So other than that, you are working with these, and that's pretty much what you got. So that's pretty much Jackson Hewitt, knowing majority of those things. Things from Jackson Hewitt, things from MoneyGram. From here you're working on networks from MoneyGram. Other than that, you are talking about AIG, AARP, Liberty